New day. I welcome you to our breakfast TV show, Good Morning Anambra on ABS TV. And it will be right to say Happy New Year to you because this is the first time we're actually gracing your screen in the year 2024. So Happy New Year to you. And of course, I'm here with my colleague,
Yeah,
Angela Chiku. Angela, good morning.
good morning. Happy New Year to our viewers out there. It's been let's say, hopeful 2024 because we are optimistic that this year is definitely going to be better than the previous year. Thank
Of
you.
course. All right, just to let you know that this morning we are kickstarting the show by bringing away the stories that are trending on our tabloids and also ABS website. And our guests are already seated in the studio this morning, but you get to meet them after this short break. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to the program. Good morning, Anambra. And right now, we are about to bring your way the story is trending on our tabloids. But we'll start with the story we have on our website this morning. But before then, meet our guest. We have Sir Jerry Obodo, our public affairs analyst, seated here this morning. Good morning, Sir Jerry.
Good morning.
Glad
Happy
to
New
have
Year
you.
to you, Nigerians, the Anambra. Happy New Year to you all.
All right, we also have Namdi Aguluka. He's also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Namdi.
Good morning and happy new year to Anambrarians and Nigerians everywhere. Thank you.
All right, let's quickly start with the stories that are trending on our website this morning. The first story we have there, Soludo as shows of sustaining development plans of predecessors. Victims of intercommunal conflict buried in Nsugbe, Anambra East Council area. HPV vaccine arrives Anambra soon. Okay, these are the top three stories we have on our website this morning. So, Jared, let's start with you.
Yeah, okay, let me take on victims of intercommunal conflict buried in Nsugbe, Anambra East Council area. Yeah, it's really, our heart goes out to the bereaved families for this, matter. It's really a pity and unfortunate that they had to end this way. May their souls rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
And we say, Ozemezina in Igbo. That means let another one not happen. But, the way of nature, it will continue to happen. But let it be natural death, not by communal, means. By this, I mean, it's either struggling for parcel of land, and before you know it, it will snowball into conflict. And from there, if unchecked, goes to serious warfare where lives will be lost. In case in point is these victims of Nsugbe that are buried. So my advice to the communities in the state and in Nigeria in general should cool temper, If you have a matter, a land problem or whatever, communal problem, please don't resort to self-help or to take laws into your hands. Let a dialogue and at worst you take the matter to appropriate authority like police, or you go to court, but not going to court of the one we had after election. So, but my advice is that let people not resort to taking laws into their hands. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Nnamdi.
Yes, when you talk about a communal conflict that can be able to lead to death, it has to be something that is serious. And as humans, we have to avoid anything that will cut the life of our fellow human being short. In as much as there is a conflict, we will always devise a means on how to, manage the conflict so that it won't be able to lead to death. At first, my colleague has extended his condolences to the victims and the families that have been involved. And I will kind of give out an advice to communities in Anambra State and also outside Anambra State that once a conflict of this nature has evolved, what we need to do is that we need to employ a diplomatic measure on how to manage it and then control it so that it won't be able to lead to loss of lives, because it's very bad for a conflict to take life of a human being of which you do not put on earth. God is even against it, and we human beings will go in accordance to the law of God, and we will try everything to live in peace and harmony with one another so that we can be able to have a good sustainable development here. That's what I'm saying.
What's also your thought on Soludo assuring of sustainable development plans of his predecessors?
Soludo as a governor has his own plan, his own leadership. One thing about leadership is that you try to employ whichever means that to ensure that those campaign promises and some certain things that the masses, the good Anambrarians, like the things that will make governance to be more consolidated, you put them in place. The past administration, his predecessor being Obiano has, he has done his own path as the governor. And Soludo, working on those, governance is all about continuity. And working on those good antecedents, building on them, matching them on, and growing and maintaining more sustainability in all the sectors of governance is a nice thing. But I must always add that you must strength, and then the Anambrarians should be able to come out and give much of their support to that effect. Soludo is trying. Soludo is giving his best, and it is high time we should be able to help him and let us build more consolidated and better Anambra State. Remember, he always said that Anambra of our dream, our own home, the light of the nation. Let us make it more livable, secure, safe, healthy, and prosperous. And that's what we are trying to do. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your submission. And quickly, let's go for the first paper for review this morning, and that's the Sun, the Daily Sun. What's the story we have there? I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Let's start with the Punch. And Beta Edo. Tinubu vows sanctions as anger grows over 585 million scandal. And the writer there says President will take appropriate punitive measures against infractions, says federal government. We also have the lawmakers budget fresh 30 billion for National Assembly renovation. Army deploys 206 generals, cancels 120 postings. And also we have Nigeria's luckiest woman gifted land for 4:50 a.m. cooking. Wow.
Yeah. Been trending.
Airlines get $62 million as CBN repays bank's 2 billion naira debt. Quadruplet mom leaves hospital after Tonkolo sperm pays 4 million bill. Manufacturers may sack workers as naira loses 39%. Well, schools resume today after Christmas holidays. That's all, and the much we have on the Punch newspaper. Quickly, Nnamdi, well, the president is saying sanctions as anger grows over 585 million scandal. And what's your take about that? 7 months into the administration, and we are hearing this humongous kind of scandal in government.
That is to tell you how corruption has eaten deep into the fiber of all the sectors of governance in Nigeria. The president has come up clean should I be able to say come up clean? Though that's what he has to say. That's the sort of pronouncement. But that section to, misappropriate, almost appropriate such a huge amount of money for nothing's sake is another level of corruption. What I have to add there is most of the times we always pursue the shadow and leave in the real image. The president has made a pronouncement to sanction, but has it ever been able to put in place? There are most of the sectors, this one is being even disclosed. There are some of the sectors that are something of this nature, even more huge of this nature, are going in this country, and yet no one has ever discovered about that. So what I'm trying to say is governance must be well grassrooted. It is high time we should be able to tell ourselves the simple truth. When we, as a progressive nation, we have to, contest on certain things, and corruption is one of them. Corruption is one of them. And for you to find out that just within a space of time that they have come into power, such a huge amount of money has been, misappropriated is something very, very ugly. It's more beyond corruption. And please, let us stand firm for saying the truth at any particular point in time when we find out something of this nature. Because with this, Nigeria is going nowhere. Governance is destabilizing, things are falling apart, and we are not going to make a nation, a progressive nation, by this nature of corruption that have bedeviled us. So the federal government has to come clean, and the sectors, the ministry, different parastatals has to come clean also. Nigerians has to support in their way also, so that we're going to be able to get a very progressive nation, and then governance at its peak. Yes.
Thank you so much about that. What's your take on the lady that got the luckiest woman, they will say, you understand, for cooking for the husband by 4:50 in the morning?
I think the whole story, so Jerry, I don't know if you had this whole story. It has been trending on X since 2 days ago. A lady said that she wakes up by 4:50 a.m. in the morning to prepare lunch for the husband. I mean, the food that he'll go to work with. What necessitated that was the fact that her husband came back one day and told her that one of his colleagues brought food for him and brought another spoon for him, and he collected the spoon and ate the food. So when he came back, he was telling the wife, look at what happened. The wife was like, so now so they go collect my husband like this. So he started waking up every morning to cook for the husband. So it has been trending on X. In fact, all the social media platforms, let me not just use that, and a lot of people have come up to say that, yes, this is the ideal woman, wife material, 1 million yards, and all that. So what's your thought on that?
Oh, well, lucky her. She's lucky to have gotten that, and it's a wake-up call to other ladies that they should try and do the needful, waking up in time, preparing necessary things, food for not just the husband, for the rest of the family, kids, and so that they can take off for the schools and other matters.
So would this
during the day
for other women, and to probably maybe this time they might be getting cash awards?
I don't think anybody will get another cash award because she has already gotten, even NNPC donated and gave her some liters of fuel. In fact, we saw a lot of branded companies like Indomie, so many of them coming up to tell her, we want you to continue what we are doing, we love what we are doing, so we want you to be cooking nice meal for your husband. Even this morning, I woke up and I saw where somebody donated dining set to her, said that the husband needs to have a very good place where he will sit down to eat the food that she cooks. So it's quite funny though. Anyway,
it's funny, and it's a wake-up call.
Okay, let's quickly go to the Vanguard newspaper, and what we have on the front page of Vanguard this morning: Naira notes scarcity, crunch worsens, banks ration cash across the counter. That's the big story in the front of the Vanguard. Customers frustrated as some banks shut ATMs. POS operators jack up charges, say they are sourcing cash outside banks. NMPCL and Port Harcourt Refinery The Unfolding Success Story of Rehabilitation by Femi Sonaye. Humanitarian Ministry, Tinubu orders probe into alleged diversion of 585 million naira into private accounts. PDP wants immediate sack, prosecution of minister. Tackle increasing cases of killing, annual court tax, federal government. EFCC's visit, Dangote explains, assures of stakeholders. And then we still have the UI Unilateral Covenant Varsity say no to fake professors on payroll. Supreme Court grants federal government exclusive control of all inland waterways. And also under sports, there we can see NFF to Super Eagles win AFCON and pocket 32 million naira bonus each. Okay, these are more what we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Over to you, Nnamdi. Do we start with the big story, talking about naira note scarcity? You know, some of us thought it has to do with the Yuletide, but now the season is over and we are still talking about scarcity of naira notes.
Talking about the crunch wasn't and back Russian cash across the counter. I may not be a sort of an expert that has to do with the financial institution, but you know, in a layman's view, once you have a sort of we like call it a multiplication of payment charges in the withdrawals and some of the transactions we will do in banks, it can be able to lead to something of this nature. The banking system has been an institution of its own, trying to maintain the balance, the financial balance of the nation. You know, talking about how the revenues are being generated, the GDP and rest of them, trying to fashion them in one parallel means to maintain the flow, the cash flow of currency in the country. Notwithstanding that, the situation of this can be able to happen. And when it happens, there must be a reason for that. Like I have stated one, all these charges and rest of them, I think if we can be able to cut them short and then maintain the normal cash flow, it will also help. And then in the revenue generation and other things that we do to maintain the cash flow in the country, we also have the idea of how the currency is being run in the country. The banks has to come up with some of their plans, some of their measures, according to the direction of this Central Bank of Nigeria, to have a kind of an agreement on how to, give out better services to Nigerians, and then this situation can be able to be ameliorated. And this is what we are trying to maintain, so that the nation will not have to face all this cash crunch worsening, and that of the cash flow being dropping, and then the revenue being affected, and all what have you coming in. And then to be able to have this, the banks, like I have already said earlier, has to come up with their plans and then maintain the status quo and then curtail these excesses.
All right, thank you so much for that. Sir Jerry.
Yeah, let me take on security. In the front page, there, up there, tackle increasing cases of killings, annual tax FG. Yeah, without security of lives and property, the country is in a very great quagmire, and no, investment thrives where there's insecurity. And you don't say that you are going on overseas or foreign trips to attract foreign direct investment when your house is not in order. That's why analysts were saying that that's a wasteful exercise to say you are wooing investors when you don't have security in your home. Now, having said that, why are we where we are today in security in the country? I recall that when this insurgency started, it was from Borno State. Maiduguri, and they were building up, fighting, maiming the people there. It was during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan. And I remember that a former president of head of state said that if insurgents last more than 24 hours, that's the government hands is there. Why do I say so? President Goodluck Jonathan appointed Major General Ajibike Ihejirika. He was then the Army Chief of Staff, to take the operation of that Borno area and fight the insurgency. And the man fought them to a standstill, about to exterminate them, and the northerners within the axis started crying that no, he has killed their people, no butcher and the bear. So they were crying, asking Jonathan to remove the man. So, and unfortunately, President Goodluck Jonathan hearkened to their voice and removed the man. And they now put in another man. And from then, these guys, started gathering momentum, embodying themselves, and that degenerated into what we're having today. It got into expanded into other areas, other states. So this is why we are where we are today. And it's unfortunate also that the president of this country did not even mention the killings in Plateau area during his New Year speech. What does that tell you? So I can tell you that it's being handled with kid gloves. And if President Jonathan did not hearken to the voices of those people and allowed Major General Ihejirika, I can tell you we could have been enjoying peace. So it's unfortunate. And up to now, you tell me how a country, these insurgents or Boko Haram, or even they were asked to declare them a terrorist group, they shied away. Only to declare IPOB as a terrorist group, IPOB that, wasn't killing people like these guys. So you can see that, they are handling it with kid gloves. And it keep, increasing and causing harm, maiming people, and making the country insecure for any foreign direct investment.
Thank you so much for your submission. Quickly, let's go to the next paper we have for review this morning, and that's the Daily Independent. And the banner headline says, 2024 budget. Expert warns federal government over exaggerated assumptions. And the writer there says, see foreign loans boosting forex supply soon. Tinubu orders probe over transfer of 585.2 million grant into private accounts. Improper payment, diversion of public funds should be punished. That's coming from Serap. Rising insecurity. Afenifere urges Tinubu to call for meeting of local leaders. The writer says, list how to tackle increasing terrorism and banditry. Dangote clarifies EFCC's visit to office amid FX investigation. NAHCO rules out upward review of safety threshold for threshold rate for airlines. Kogi government to unveil new Ohinoi of Ibiraland among 70 aspirants. 5 die as boat capsized in River Niger. Then what else again do we have here? PDP, LP, NPP considering merger for 2027 election. That's coming from NC Front. ASU president links fake foreign degrees to underfunding of universities. And the writer there says, well, that's too tiny for me to pick. And then we have 2024 will be year of enforcement of laws, says Sanwo-Olu. That and more we have.
on in the Daily Independent. Well, quickly, you just talked about the insecurity, and Afenifere here are still re-echoing that. But Nnamdi, PDP, LP, NPP considering merger for 2027 election, to me, I think this is the least of our problems right now. This administration is less than a year into office, and we already have our political jobbers thinking of 2027. Shouldn't this opposition rather sit down and be the pressure group on this particular government? The president gave an address that didn't, like Obodo said, that didn't even carry the recent killing of innocent Nigerians. And people are already talking about 2027 election. What's your take on that?
Anyway, in politics, anything can come up based on individuals and group calculations, speculations here and there. You know, most of the times politicians makes a sort of move, not knowing what tomorrow may come up with. That is what they target the interest. Talking about these political parties emerging for their success in 2027 general election is something to, you know, I didn't see it being realistic. The reason why I didn't see it being realistic for now is the government just came up, and we should be talking about administration, how we can be able to focus and foster much time and our resources to make this government work very well. Talking about general election and now merger and rest of them is uncalled for. It's uncalled for. But like I earlier said, in politics everything comes up, everything happens. And when you talk about them, why not them forming a sort of pressure group? In pressure group, you see things, you say things.
Yeah. Long you have common interests.
Yes, you try to make government to be sensitive to
exactly, because the Senate we have, the House of Rep we have, they seem not to even know their job any longer.
They are not even.
So if you tell me that the coalition of these parties are coming to like form a pressure group in order to make the government sit up to its responsibilities, that's more sensible. But to say you're forming a merger in order to dethrone
the
present
current
government,
well, probably they're trying to do what.
That's for election.
That's for the election. Most of the times we always focus on our interest in politics. Our interest in politics, what we can be able to benefit as an individual. That's the problem we're having today. Yeah. And most of the times after electioneering, after politics, there comes administration, there comes the leadership, where election has come and gone, believe it or not. We're talking about leadership, we're talking about administration. And for you to be at the point, at the verge of administration, and you're talking about merger, for you to dethrone this current government in general election 2027 now. So it's something that I think those ideas are mine.
Just let us know how politics is being played in Nigeria, because it's just their interest. Nobody has the interest of the masses.
But if we can be able to, sort of try to maintain the normal idea, the idealism of woman in politics, that's the part I can be able to come in, and then form a formidable pressure group that will always put the government on check. This is the right thing to do. This is the right place to be at this particular point in time. This is the fault. These are the things that is not going on well. This is the solution to that. The government will sit up and give us a better governance that we anticipate by voting. That is it. It will be a group idea. This is the idealism of politics for women. But that we always forfeit this because we want where we can be able to benefit as an individual, talking about merger to dethrone.
And if we don't benefit, we turn opposition.
Yes, we turn opposition that is not even.
The Nigerian political system and their politicians, I can tell you that they go for what you can call food is ready. Food is ready politician. So, they don't think of what they can offer to the masses. It's just that food is ready, let me go there and grab and eat, So, but it's not that way in advanced climes. They have ideology, but here you don't have, But the way area I want even to go, where I want them, if they know their onions, I want them to go and look into is this. But I know those guys in the National Assembly, they are the best of the same feathers. You know, what benefits them is what is their interest. But if they can sit down and say what really transpired during the 2023 election, and where were the faults noticed in that area, can we modify it before the next election? Because the thing that repeated itself in 2023 could still repeat in 2027 if not checked. Where, because of some technical reasons, the opinion of the masses is thrown overboard. By this I mean the appointment of the INEC chairman and the Rex. Whose responsibility will it be? Is it solely the president of the country? And is there no way they can pressure the National Assembly to say this body will be responsible and not the president as a sole appointer of these people? Because he who pays the take the tune. He played out, really, everybody is very obvious. It's played out during the 2023 election. Both the INEC and the where election was declared even before the total collation. Secondly, even after the election and somebody is declared, either as a president or a governor, will he be sworn in? Is there no way you can checkmate it by saying, amend the electoral law that says there's no swearing in if the election result is disputed, that we all wait until the court matter is disposed of. If it is in the case of the president, let the Senate president be acting. If it is the case of governor, let the speaker be acting, or the vice, until the election matter is disposed of. Because once, it's very obvious, once somebody is sworn in, he uses the paralleling of office of the president or the government to intimidate the outsiders, you know, doing all sorts of things to see that he retains that power. So this is a place they will be looking at. Then finally, the glitches as declared by the INEC chairman. What are the glitches? They have not explained it. They will be, wanting them to explain it. And the transmission of results. These are the things that these guys, opposition people, should be pressuring so that it will be corrected to enable the person who won an election be declared, not subverting the opinion of the people. Thank you.
All right, let's quickly go over to the Guardian newspaper this morning with the big story there. Federal government in fiscal dilemma over high inflation, low revenue, FX crisis. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then other stories there. Towards an inclusive society for people living with disability. CBN pays airlines additional $61.64 million stock funds. Tinubu orders probe of aid to humanitarian ministry over 37 billion naira and 535 million naira funds. 5 dead, 30 others are rescued as boat capsizes in River Niger. 3.4 billion debt or your AG faults Makinde's paucity of funds claim. PDP accuses Kwara senators, reps of diverting federal government's rice. Supreme Court affirms state have no regulatory powers on inland waterways. Worsening insecurity, Anyako blames killings on non-prosecution of perpetrators. These and many more are what we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Nnamdi, let's start with this The last story I just read talking about Anyoko, saying that why we are still having insecurity in the country is that those perpetrators, they are not being punished. They are not being prosecuted. Let me use the word he used. They are not being prosecuted. And do you think that is actually the true situation of things, or does it mean that military personnel are not really doing their job, the jobs they're supposed to do? I mean, fishing out, going to communities to fish out those people. Because some will tell you that in different communities, you can even know these people. You see them come to market to buy.
They are part of the community.
And parcel of the community. So why are we still talking about insecurity in our country?
Anyway, Emeka Anyoko as an elder statesman, having his own contribution in the nation's security is something that I would say bold, courageous, and timely. Security is the responsibility, collective responsibility of every individual. So for Anyoko to come in means that he has been paying for the way that things are going in this country. And mind you, like I said earlier, insecurity, everything that has to do with the government sector has to link to insecurity. Once there's insecurity, there is a lot of things going worse within the country. And the killings and what have you have been going on without worsening, according to the word he used, worsening without everyone showing more concern about it. The security personnel, the army, police, and rest of them, day in, day out, a huge amount of resources are being invested in fighting insecurity, and yet no result is coming forth. And to be frank with you, like my colleague Jerry Obodo has said, if insecurity lasts beyond an expected period, it means that government hands is really in it. And the government, most of the times, let me tell you the simple truth, most of the times, insecurity has to be a tool, a fashion tool that government uses to achieve their aim. Let me just put it this way. Most of the times, the issue of insecurity has to be a fashion tool by the government to achieve their aim within the masses. I'm fully aware that no one goes to sleep if there is insecurity. No one sleeps very well. No one is being you have the comfortability of your zone when there is insecurity. It doesn't happen that way. It's like when a woman goes to bed with a husband with a cutlass behind her, and then you are trying to tell me that the husband will be comfortable with the woman. No, it doesn't go that way. Then the issue of worsening of the killings in the country has been quite alarming, and it is high time we should be able to come up with some of the security measures and then networks and try to remove them. Government has to always be at the forefront of this. Then individually, like I always said, groups, like I saw Afenifere urging the federal government to checkmate the excesses of insecurity. Ohaneza has been doing that. Other social-cultural groups has been doing that. The Northern Forums has been doing that. All the groups, the SERAP has been calling the federal government, do something about this insecurity because it's worsening day in, day out. Many are being killed and many lives are being wasted. Many properties are being wasted, and it's not going well with our economy. Thank you very much.
All right, Sir Jerry, I would also want you to touch this accusation by PDP accusing Kwara senators and reps of diverting federal government's rights. These are, this should be palliative, right? The ones that are supposed to be shared to the poor masses. And now we are seeing this accusation.
Well, you know me that I don't like the word, if they use the word palliative for the good people of Nigeria. They are not in a dying bed. But it's unfortunate that our government has just coined that language to, be, just as if these people are nothing.
More like it's to cushion the effect of poverty in the
they
land.
can say, yeah, that's the word I proposed, cushioning the effect. Palliative is somebody who is dying in the bed.
Some people are actually helpless.
Some people need that rice in order to able
to
survive.
I'm telling you.
It's not good to use it.
Okay, go ahead.
But they can say cushioning effect materials.
Okay.
Like I said, what do you expect from a man who is there for his pocket? So, apart from the humongous take-home pays, the constituency fund that they are taking home, and extraneous interventions that they take home, that so-called not cushioning effect materials.
You still end up calling it palliative, so that we understand where we are heading to.
So that cushioning effect materials, why should the senator, he calls himself a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we go down low, descend so low, to divert rice? What is rice to the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? With all the take-homes which I have enumerated. So, it's a shame. They should go and bury their faces in shame. And their people should even, if there is, but the process of recall is too cumbersome. Such men should be recalled because how can you take the common rights that you should be giving out? In fact, your own money is the one you should be using to give them, and you are taking the one that the duly, meant for them. It's unfortunate.
You want to contribute?
Yes. Anyway, the act of diverting materials to cushion the effect of hardship on people is immoral. Let me just put it this way. Considering your level of commitment and dedication as a lawmaker in the country, it's something you're supposed to be doing willingly to yourself to help your people, and then the material has been provided by the government. You are even diverting it.
But this is coming from the opposition party, so don't you think that there might be some
there is
atom of
victimization? There is always an atom of truth in most accusations.
I don't understand. You are the person saying that these people should form a pressure group to attack them. Now you are saying that they could.
I know the angle he's coming on.
Yeah.
The fact it may be true, or the fact it may not be true.
Okay.
But
Well,
whatever
it's
might be the
still
case,
an accusation.
whatever might be the case, such act is immoral, and that's the reason why when you are in public office as a public servant, your most priority is the welfare of the people you are representing. As a lawmaker, be it a senator, be it a House of Representative member, your top priority should be how successful and how happy the masses, the constituents you're representing must be, not the other way around. That's my own business. But in most cases, it happens. This is not the first time we are hearing it. And when you are close to them, they might be able to tell you that we divert those items because we want to use it and compensate some of our political loyalists and rest of them, or maybe to use it and do campaign and rest of the. But it's not meant for that purpose. It's meant for the purpose to cushion the effect of hardship. And that purpose is meant for must. If it is where we practicalize good governance, it must be used for that purpose, not just for you to, pay back to your loyalists. It doesn't happen that way. So it's immoral.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's quickly take the last 2 papers or 3 papers we have together because of want of time. Quickly, the big story in front of the National Star newspaper. Niger, Sanusi meets Q leaders, opens negotiation. Tinubu, aware of chip, gave consent. Source. ECOWAS leaders meet today. Ex-rebel leader A.G. Boala announces anti-Q movement. Flood killed 600 Nigerians, destroyed properties worth 5 trillion naira in 2022. This is coming from federal government. All right, quickly, let's see what we have on the Nation's newspaper. The Nation.
The Nation newspaper, the banner headline is talking about 21 governorship appeals for hearing at Supreme Court this week. And Tinubu approves a 12 billion outstanding payments to Super Eagles and others. Foreign investors double stakes in Nigerian markets. States, federal government on collision costs over shareholding in oil firms. We also have President orders probe of alleged 545 million in humanitarian ministry. where we keep seeing conflicting figures here. EFCC didn't take any document away from our office, says Dangote. Foreign airline gets $61.64 million forex backlog, and Supreme Court waterways belong to federal government. And quickly, the last Tribune newspaper, Better Edu Tinubu directs probe alleged financial scandal rocks humanitarian affairs ministry. Emefiele, banks to face probe over forex deals, probe to cover 9-year period. Wow. PDP, G5 will support Tinubu in 2027, Otom says. Wow, these politicians. Well, Furu over federal government grants palliative. And then we have PDP Governors National Working Committee divided over zoning ahead of Edo governorship primaries. And Supreme Court grants NIWA exclusive right to control Nigeria's inland waterways. Kogi government to unveil new Ohinoi of Iberia land. EFCC, well, we've seen that. NDLEA intercepts Kolo's consignment in boxing kit on New Year's Day. Well, I think that sounds a little bit funny, but then they will need to tell us what Kolos is. Nnamdi, you have any idea what Kolos is?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know what Kolos is?
No.
Wow.
Colorado, on Colors.
Okay.
Well, there's this one that really threw me off balance. PDP G5 will support Tinubu in 2027, coming from Otom. I don't understand these politicians. Sir Jerry Obodo, you rightly said that our politicians are food is ready, vendor practitioners. Coming from somebody that was standing firm, having rallies to tell you that the man to follow in the last presidential election was P2B, and somebody, the same mouth is saying they are coming to form a coalition to support.
And he has a party that will produce a presidential candidate.
I really don't understand.
So quickly, let's comment on that because of one time.
You have said it all. They've seen where the food is ready. That's APC. That's
so 8 years as a governor is not enough for you to have pitched your tent and then know that you have integrity for the office that you once held. Because you won't tell me that somebody that was a governor that is still eating the benefit of his 8-year tenure because he's still being paid certain allowances, gratuities, and the rest of it all. And then you will come up on the front page of a newspaper and be telling Nigerians this, not even minding that some time ago you had pitched your tent elsewhere.
Well, that's the Nigerian politicians for you. Anything can happen. Anything goes. They don't have an ideology. If it is in America, somebody who is a conservative or Republican, you already know his, stand or matters, and So it's unfortunate that we are still very backward and awkward in political and politicians in this country. What I want to say is to digress, to talk about the Super Eagles and the AFCON. The federal government and the NFF has promised them some huge amount of money to go out there and die in the field and get the cup home. So I expect nothing less. Let them know that the football is what is making Nigerians to be happy. It's uniting the country, not these politicians and what that doesn't think about the interest of the masses. So let them revive the game, make Nigerians happy once more, win the cup, even qualify for the World Cup, because the way it's going, we might say bye-bye to the World Cup, but let them tighten up, go to the field and start smoking and make Nigerians proud. Thank you.
Okay, let me have, on this issue of the G5 PDP Governors Forum, we know how they are being formed. We know what even permitted their formation. Yes, how angrily they became in their own political parties, and then because of not meeting up their demands, and they formed their own G5 and their activities during the 2023 general elections. We know what is their moves, we know what is their anticipation, we know what is their plans, and they are trying everything to achieve their personal interest, like I have said earlier. For them to come up, and even from the the former governor of Benue State, Otto, to say that is, I don't know, but whatever they said is having their plans being perfected, their political plans being perfected. They have the right to say whatever. I mean, as an individual, as a group, they have, let them go on. But in fulfillment, is it the right thing to do in politics? Is it the right thing to do in governance? That's the worst, because most of their states are being far low beyond what is expected in good governance. Benue, that have been faced with insecurity, and rest of them being replaced with Alia, Reverend Alia in Benue State. And then Nyesom Wike of Rivers still acting. In fact, he's still, calling himself the governor of Rivers State, whereas he's not the governor of Rivers State, trying to make some detections on what happened in his own state, whereas he's the minister. And most of them, we know what they want. We know what they are planning to. And most of the times, most of the things they plan, most of the things they anticipate works for them, most of the times it doesn't work for them. But let me go on to talk about the 21 governorship going, waiting for hearing at the Supreme Court. After elections come the litigations, started from the election tribunal, and it continued going, and this is the final battle. So I was earlier, after the 2023 general election, discussing with a friend who told me that when I'm even telling him that once I see that I failed election, it's obvious that I lose the election. What's the sense of going to tribunal to waste resources I have already wasted, almost 2/3 of it at the pool?
The campaign.
He laughed and told me, that means you are not a politician. If you're a politician, you will go, till the end. That in election, you have 3 parts of election. One is the party primary, when you secure the ticket and become from aspirant and become a candidate. That is one you have to see there. Then the general pool, when you fail that one, you still go to the 3rd one, which is a litigation at the court. So for the governors, 21 governorship to go to Supreme Court is seeking redress. It's their right. They are trying to follow it up in the legal way. It's their right. But going by the judgment being issued by Supreme Court these days, we know most of the times it's not fair. Most of the times it's fair to us and to some other Nigerians. But what is fair according to law. Because I was told that law is a two-faced cutlass, that you can favor this way and you can want exactly. And that's what's happening. So it's good that they follow it up to the Supreme Court to show their redress and maybe reclaim their mandate, as the case may be.
All right, I wish we had more time. We would have gone on and on because we have a lot to talk about, but we have to go because we still have other things to do this morning. On that note, I want to say a very big thank you to you, Nnamdi Agoloka, for joining us this morning on the show.
Thank you.
And also to you, Sir Jerry Obodo. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure being here.
All right, well, that's it on Press Review. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we see you at the other side. Stay with us.